Hi, good morning everybody. It's Steve from I'm Enough Coaching. How are you going today? I thought I'd just reach out to you and just carry on with from where I left off with my inspirational quote for today, which was all about taking responsibility for yourself, taking responsibility for your actions, taking responsibility for absolutely everything in your life. Now, there are two ways that you can take responsibility, or not take responsibility is probably the best way to describe it. So the first one is taking responsibility for everything that happens. So how you react to it, what your facial expressions are, whether you roll your eyes, whether you see it as an opportunity, whether you can actually grow from it, or whether you actually are going to blame somebody else. You're going to look for reasons that it wasn't your fault. You're going to look for ways in which you can not take any responsibility for it at all, where you're actually sort of saying to yourself, that had nothing to do with me, it just happened because the system's shit. Or I didn't have anything to do with it, it was their fault, or they didn't do their job properly, and that's why we've ended up where we are. I had no role to do with anything to do with that. It just wasn't with me. Or are you going to be taking responsibility for your actions? Are you going to be taking responsibility for the environment that you're in? How are you going to react to something when it goes wrong? Are you going to look at it as a positive way to be able to learn, to be able to move forward? Or are you going to look at it in a way where you just sort of go, yeah, shit, you know what? Never mind, it won't happen again. And it will. It will happen again, trust me. So in the coaching world, we have a phrase for this. It's called being at cause, which is being in control. So this is above the line thinking, or being at effect. And this is your water cooler, looking for justification, looking for blame, looking to bag somebody else out over something that's happened. And what I found is that if you are at cause, so you're taking control of the situation and you are reacting in an adult way. I'm not saying in a positive way, but in an adult way. So you're able to actually look at the situation and work out, how am I going to react? Is this something that I can learn from? Is there something that I can take away from this? Is there something that I can do better? Is there something that I've done right and I need to really work on? That was great, that was awesome, I need to keep moving forward. Whereas if you're at effect, if you're down here on below the line thinking, you'll be thinking, well, that had nothing to do with me, I couldn't have done anything about that. That was totally out of my control. There was nothing more that I could have done around it. It wasn't my fault. Why am I getting the blame? Why are people judging me? And you start to get that frown, you get that look on your face. You start to bag out other people. You're quite happy to get involved in running people down. So you'll be involved in that conversation and people will be saying, oh, did you see what she did the other day? And you're like, oh, yeah, because you're trying to justify your inactions through somebody else's. And that's what we call below the line thinking. That's where you are when you are at effect. Whereas if you start to take control of everything in your life, your reactions, your actions, the consequences of those actions, the choices that you make, the decisions at that critical moment, whether you go ahead with something or not, whether you actually go and learn how to do it rather than say, no, I can't do that, that's way beyond me. If you start to do that, if you're at cause, then you're going to really start to take control of your life. And from there, that's where you start to develop your self-belief, your confidence, your ownership of your life. And because you're taking control of it, and you're taking control of every single aspect, and I mean absolutely every single aspect, even the little voices inside your head, then because you're taking control of it, you're taking control of your life. And once you start to take control of your life, that's when things happen. Now, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, there was a couple of job interviews that I'd been through for the week before, and only one of them came off, and that was just a casual position, so it's not really going to pay too much money for me. Now, what I could have done was throw my hands up and gone, oh, shit, why do I bother? Why do I bother? But I didn't. I know that I've got to get some money in. I know that I've got to start paying bills. So immediately, I asked for feedback on the second job interview. How did I perform within the job interview? Is there anything that I could have done better? Was there something that I didn't do right? And the feedback that I got was really positive, which was great. So I interviewed really well, and I really excelled. The only reason why I didn't get the job was because somebody who's done the job before, who's got the experience and they don't have to train, applied for the job as well, and he got it. So, great, fair enough. But I could have just gone, I'm over this, absolutely over it. I've done everything I can and I still can't get a job. I'm going to go and have a beer, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to eat shit food, and I'm going to watch crap TV all night. No, what did I do? I just thought, well, at least I know that I interviewed well. I know that I presented well. I know that I researched my subject well. Now, what can I do? I can go and do that again because I got so close last time. I'm going to take a lesson from this and I'm going to start moving forward. I was immediately onto the internet. I was looking for new jobs. I was ringing people and I was into the local newspapers, seeing what jobs were available. So rather than being at effect and blaming, everything around me, my environment, for not getting a job, and the fact that there's no jobs here and it's shit and I can't get a job, and even though I did my best, I still couldn't do it. I went to being at cause, to being in control, working out what I could take responsibility for. How could I improve it? How could I make it better? And that's what I've done. And I've applied for another 5 jobs in the last 24 hours. So that's what I mean about being at cause or being at effect. Now, really, you want to be at cause, and that's where you want to be. But it takes time to be able to realise that. You've got to be able to realise how you're thinking. You've got to work out what your triggers are. What really gets you, you starting to talk about people, and bagging people out. You're being judgmental, justifying your inadequacies in somebody else's failures. So when you start to do that, recognise it and just go, that's not me. I'm not doing this anymore. I am not doing this. I'm going to be at cause. I'm going to work out how I can respond to this. And even by just saying to yourself, I'm being at cause and I'm not going to get involved in this water cooler rubbish and this bagging out and slagging of people off in the workplace or even at home, I'm just not going to do it. It's beyond me. I'm not doing it anymore. Stop. That's you taking control. That's you being at cause. Okay? And from there, you can start to work out how you're going to react to it. What's going to be your thoughts? What's going to be your behaviours? What's going to be your actions and what's going to be your outcomes? And from there, you get your consequences. So if you keep moving forward, if you're at cause all the time, it's really difficult for negativity to slip in. And when it does, you have to quickly recognise it, move yourself from effect back up to cause again. So I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, please reach out to me and give me a shout. This is what I do. This is coaching in its nutshell. Okay? This is how I help people change their lives around. I give them experiences and ideas on how they can help themselves to change their behaviour, how they can help themselves change their outcomes. And I'm happy to share with you some of these ideas and some of these tips for free. Whereas I've said before, other coaches just want all the money and then they'll leave you to it. This is all about helping people help themselves. I'm not there to rescue anybody. I'm just there to help you as a coach, to hold you accountable and to keep you moving forward. And every time that we come to a barrier, we just work out what the barrier is, we smash through it, and then we go forward again. So that's what it's really about. That's what coaching is for me. And I love helping people. That's what I'm all about. And I want to be able to help you and everybody else achieve the best possible thing that they can in life. And that is happiness 100% of the time. And if you can achieve that, then life is great. So really, that's all from me today. Just another quick tip. And this works for everybody from teenagers all the way up to adults. So, if you've got a teenager, think about how you react to them. Are you at effect or are you at cause? How do you discuss it? If you're a teenager, think about how you carry on and how you language things and stuff like that. Are you at effect? Blaming everybody else, blaming the system, blaming your parents, blaming the school, blaming the world? Or are you going to be at cause, where you're taking responsibility for yourself and your own actions? So there we go. That's just the quick tip for today. It's taken me about 10 minutes to get through this, so thanks for sticking with me if you have done. And I look forward to speaking to you again. And thanks very much. Another great tip from Steve, and I'm Enough Coaching. Take care. Have a great day. Toodaloo.